Who said China, that the Chinese is doing this to the Muslims? Said they set the Chinamans up. They had a few Saudis come in there and talk about taking over and this, that, and other. And so the Chinamans said, oh, no, we don't do that here, right? And so they overplayed their hand a little bit. They overplayed their hand. But, hey, anyway, the environment, we have to be able to read our environment. That's just yep. In our case, it expands, it improves the direction to complete our transformation. In other words, our contact with the system either will cause you to be oppressed or it will cause you to expand and grow and develop. So this goes back to like if you're playing a certain part in life, sometime that part, other people may look at it and say, that is bad, that's terrible. But if you was raised for that, it's not terrible. It's good. I was looking at Chechnya years ago. You know, they'd be out there, they'd be up there, they'd be so cold. Some of them would have almost clogs. It's like when I was in Denmark, you know, the Danish wear them clogs. It's freezing to death. And I used to live in Roskilde, that's the city of the kings, 20 miles outside of Copenhagen. So I would leave my house and I would walk to the train station, that's the college station. And I saw they had baby carriages. Everybody had a baby, right? They bundled the baby up and they set them outside in that freezing cold. I said, man. But then I realized, no wonder white folks can stand the cold. They bundled a little baby up and they, you know, the baby had a little thing and they all just, they're not, boy, this is cold out here. They're not doing that. Then I saw the construction workers. They'd have clogs, you know, with the back out in the freezing cold. I said, boy, but that's their environment. You see what I mean? Negroes are freezing to death. No, when I see the people in Chechnya, you know how the Negro is with cold. And then you read the temperature, and you see them fighting, and all the houses is bombed out and everything, and that's where they staying in that Russian winter. I say, I like, you know, like, that's what makes you like boss man, because you like, you know, would nobody want this job? They wouldn't want it. Palestinians, nobody, they wouldn't want it. We love it, it's wonderful. Because this is what we're made for, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to be, man, in Palestine with them Yahudis beating people upside the head, bulldozing their house. You open the house and then they bulldoze and you build another one and they cut your water off. Man, that, but we honor them for that. They wouldn't want to do this job. In fact, if they got here, they wouldn't be talking a whole lot about Palestine because most of them is here, right? That are from Palestine, they'd quiet it down a little bit. They'd actually quiet it down. You know, Allah knows best why, but anyway, we haven't quieted down about boss man here, and we're not going to quiet down. Because this is the job we was trained for. Okay, so we'll speed up. We say this dream is old as history. It's evolutionary dream, environmental dream, historical dream. This visualization of a perfect society, people have always thought and dreamed about a good world, you know, in their time, whatever it was. Okay. But now we can think about with all the labor-saving devices and all of that, hey man, we could live in a world where you have to design your daily schedule where you do some work yourself because it's healthy for you. You know, you like, the human being likes to do something, he likes to make something, said, oh, that's all right. So he have to train himself nowadays, but we have to have a system that allow us to experiment for 2 hours a day or 4 hours a day, or if you really like it, you can do it all day long. Because when you're doing what you want to do, you know, it's not, we can do all of that. So this dream is as old as history. Even the word utopia itself comes from the Greek. It means, it does mean a paradise. This means good place, Alexander. It just means good place, that's all. Okay, special event maintenance. As-Sabiqun, longevity, survival, endurance, adaptability, stickability, and bounceability. Well, that's the ability to bounce back. I'm telling you. I used to study people. I've always studied life and our people. And I used to see big Negroes. They'd be big, you know what I mean? And then something happened, and they go down a little bit. Sometimes they come right back, you know what I mean? And they go through that cycle. And after a while, they lose elasticity. They don't bounce back anymore, you know. And I used to study that. What was the reason for that, you know? Is it the system, you know what I mean? Messing with them, and you can see that. Well, what is the reason that we don't bounce back over and over again? And so when we saw our life, that's the way we look at our life. That's why our favorite thing is a setback ain't nothing but a setup for a comeback. Why? Because we're always doing comebacks. Remember I was saying we was in 67, 68, we was having a kind of a rest, a little petty retirement. That was to get a feel for what, I know what it is now. I didn't know exactly what it was then. It was stuff popping up over here, popping up over there. So let me pull back and look at all of this. So after I got a good look at it, and then I got all that vision, I said, let's go. I didn't know what visionary was, but that's exactly what I had. A vision of Negroes, long, pretty cars, red ones, pink ones, green ones, pulling off from, oh, I didn't have those colors, that's kind of not clownish, but you know what I mean? You just seeing all them limousines, man, pulling off from your businesses, and you don't have no businesses then in a certain amount of time, there they are, exactly like you was visualizing. And there was another thing that it was 4 brothers that was born in 4, but it was 4 there about the same age doing a certain thing. The Ward brothers was doing about the same thing in Oakland. They was popular. They was all right. So I said to myself as I'm making a comeback, man, if I had 4 brothers doing what I'm doing, man, we knocked this thing over. And I remember when it come to me, I was opening the refrigerator, and it must have been the refrigerator got revelation and said, oh, niggas is your brothers. That was it. I don't need 4 physical brothers. All the niggas out there is your brothers, right? It wasn't a month or 2. I just picked it up and ran with it, and that was it. It was a few kernels of reality, and all the other good stuff go with it, like you say. You have a chance to look at, okay, that Black Panther stuff, like I showed you pictures. I said all of my homeboys is getting burned, but just like that. So I just fooled a white man. Within a year's time, you saw me white stuff on him. Because that's what, as long as a nigga doing that, he ain't thinking about nothing. Right? That's what they gave me the dope bag for, was to live like that. To do like that. And forget all them niggas. Right? Just get yourself some money. It wasn't until the white man looked up and he said, this nigga done make everybody rich. And they rolled in on the brother. I said, boy, this little white man is mean. You know, and remember, you're young. I just said, I'm leaving, boss man. I said, you just look too mean for me. But nobody else would leave. When I would travel around the world, I wouldn't find no African-American gangsters that got cases like I had and left. They wouldn't leave. They'd stay right here and go right to penitentiary. Hey, so anyway, it's the same thing right now. The stages before, we had several stages before. Masjid Islam clears the air in 1986. Okay, we're making a comeback that time. We do da-da-da-da. When we come here, they load us up with all the tattletales and everything, and then we said, now we're going to move. And we're going to incorporate the people into, and so we get to rolling. And whether it's a school, whether it was all the Masjid, everything, that's fine. That's why when they pulled them back, you never saw me running out, oh, don't leave, because they was going to leave all the time. And we knew it. So what we have to do, we have to use what we have at that time. So nobody can say, oh, if we can have 10 Masjid at one time, and they all packed with people. So how you can say we don't know nothing about management and organization, right? How can we run the best school in town? And they did a good job. They did a good job because, first of all, they liked all the kids. Most of the kids was theirs. That was one of the things. But they were just average teachers, but they had their own environment. And the kids liked school. You remember that? They liked. I'd be saying, y'all gotta go on home because of the heat, as long as y'all stay here. I wouldn't say that, of course. So this doggone heater, you know, they can't count anyway. And I wouldn't run them out. But they love to just hang around. They hang around. The school is out. The environment solves the problem. If you like being where you are, oh, we have a little study just on the side. Because you like where you are. So, that was a period. We took advantage of that period. We expected that period. Okay, the same thing like right now. We'll evolve into a new stage. Okay, the first stage may be like As-Sabiqun, those who show the way. We said that this is the third time. So this is what we're doing. We're showing the way. But as we get structured and get organized and get disciplined and get refocused, then we'll transfer from those who lead the way. Because it says both. Those who lead the way and those who show the way. We're taking it the way that we can digest it. Right now, we're showing the people the way, we're speaking about it, and inshallah, they'll be able to deal with it. Now later on, as we're structured, as we're organized, as we develop a new set of institutions, right? As we develop our movie-making ability, as we develop our cultural development. This time we may even get into agricultural, except it won't be 40 or 100 miles away. We may have to go way out of the country now, because the country is not right across the street anymore. But what the heck? No, man, I go up to fill it up. We can go across that bridge over there. When you get across that bridge, that turns into agriculture. So we can get a nice spot out there, you know. Develop our housing right here. All of that stuff goes with the stage. It's not an extra added on, it just goes with it. We almost don't count it because that's a part of the stage that we're in. Been there before many times. Anticipation, we've always talked about anticipation. Anticipation and expectation. When you can anticipate somebody, hey, you can just about do what you want to do. The era of kindness, gratefulness, and optimism. Okay, Islamic Republic, we'll go by that. USA, assisting in its own decline. If anybody heard the news of last few days, this boy, okay, going down 2 weeks ago was one thing. But do you see the white folks now? They getting panicked. They said, man, wait a minute, what's wrong with them? I mean, they hollering on it. They said, man, there's too many people dying. What is wrong? They rather, like, you know, hey, man, they're serious. And Don get right up there and say, we've been doing a good job. And if you want testing, you can get it. He's still, they said, testing? This man must be eating mushrooms or something. You know, magic mushrooms, psilocybin. Right. They said, this boy is eating mushrooms or something. He got to be gone. 60,000 people dead, and that's just what they say. Dead, real dead people. That they're not coming back. Right. They're not coming back. Those people won't be back. Hey man, as the white boy would say, these white folks is freaking out. Okay, but remember, I know I've said this before. As they're coming down, technically we could just stay where we are and they'll be down with us pretty soon. We'll be an alternative picture soon. Because they're not saying, you know what I mean? It ain't nobody that just grabbed it and said, let's do this. You know, let's do this. Okay? So we've crossed all the rivers, dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's. We've done all of that. We've done that in our behavior and our attitude, in the Quran, all the ayats that will be there, wali and hamim, warm and fuzzy friend. All of that is real. And see, it may not have been our job to do that. It may have been just like Ibrahim, just get ready to sacrifice your Ibrahim, and if you're ready to do it, you don't have to go out and rescue all the white folks. You know what I mean? That may be the way it looks like it happens like that sometimes. But anyway, yeah. So, assisting in its own decline. Good God Almighty. I mean, it's not assisting, it's guaranteeing, you know what I mean? It's the back pushing itself off the cliff. It's really unbelievable. But you know, that's the way history is. All the people ask, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? And the Quran says they had plans, they had schemes, they got schemes to pull out of this, but it ain't working. Okay, never forget, archivists, documentalists, chroniclers, historians, but educators, trainers, to train people in what? Willpower, strong-mindedness, fortitude, self-control, self-command, self-mastery, self-government, tenaciousness, the ability to just hold on. They did some survey during World War II, you know, when they was going over to Europe. They was, the Germans was sinking all these, the U-boats was sinking all these merchant ships. And when they was picking people up, they got so many people, you know, them lifeboats, they found that most of the people were older. But, well, wait a minute, they would say, well, why wouldn't the young guy got everything to live for? He got, you know what I mean? He got all the strength to hold on, but he never been through nothing like that before. The old people, they just got through the Depression. It was bitter for everybody. It was tragic. It was terrible, but they lived through it. So they learned something. All you got to do, when they find them, they'd have their arm on the thing, they'd just be just locked on. That's where they'd find them all the time. They'd just be locked on. That's all it was. They just holding on. And the young people had not learned that lesson. So they would let their arm go and slide off in the water. Because it was all new to them. No, so age has a lot of beauty to it. It has that long range ability to, like we always talk about, that long range, you know, protracted, way out there, you know. Other young people want a quick fix. They want to beat up the white man or beat up the nigger, something like that, and then it's all fixed. It just don't go like that. But a protracted struggle. Anyway, we'll speed up a little bit. So we, from the very beginning, we knew that this is what we were going to be doing. We were going to be the archives. We're going to be the go-to place to get all of this information. That's what we are now. The people can go and look at our CDs, DVDs, and they can get those old As-Sabiqun, print them out, and they'll have a real picture, you know what I mean, of what's going on. Now imagine the new ones that we will be doing. We'll be doing them soon as we get the staff to type them out.